Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Nicholas Abernathy. This is the first podcast, and we're just going to go over some topics that I wrote down over the week for the first episode. But first, I was going to go ahead and explain my story about how I got in the wheelchair. When I was in middle school in gym class, they did the scoliosis check that everybody knows of. Um, and when I went in there, they were rubbing down my spine. They found out that I did have scoliosis. Um, and then from there, they sent me to a hospital to check it out, get an MRI and everything. And in that MRI, they found a tumor that was cancerous and that covered 90% of my spine. Um, I was in the hospital and they sent me to Atlanta at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Hospital to do a second opinion type of thing. We scheduled the surgery to do the get rid of the tumor and or at least try. So I went in 2017. I have this tattoo right here that I'll pop in so y'all can see it. So in 2017, on April maybe 30th, I went in and I was on the table for 8 hours. And I came out of that surgery without being able to feel my legs. Um, I needed to go pee after 2 days of not remembering anything. And when I got up in the bed, I put my legs on the ground and I didn't feel the ground. Um, Long story short. And after that, I went into therapy for a few weeks there, basically lived in Atlanta for a month. And I was able to use the strength that I've gained over the years, me being 13 or 14. I was able to use the strength that I've gained to still learn how to re-walk, but that didn't really last a long time because you can only go so much with just walking with strength and no feeling, no nerves, nothing. So that's what I did for a few years. As the years went by, I slowly digressed. If that's a word, I don't know. Fact check me in the comments. Uh, and I just slowly got worse. Um, and that's basically my story of how I got in the wheelchair. So to this day, I can't feel my legs. Um, I can't walk at all, but I have recently got some braces to kind of lock into my hips because I can still use my hips, but anything below that, I can't feel or do. Um, but that's my life, and I wouldn't take it back a second of it because that's God's plan for me, and that's my story. Um, it's not sad. It's not doesn't make me angry. It's just life, and life goes on, and we keep doing our best to strive um, as God intended it for us to do. Um, a little backstory on me is I have two daughters, 1 and 3. I'll put up some pictures right here, and they're my life. Um, there's a quote: "If you're a good person and you have kids, you're just gonna get better." Um, that's not a quote. I just made it up right now uh, because that's what I think. I think if you're a good person and you have kids, you only get better. There's times that are rough, but you get better. You go through those. If you're a God fearing man or woman, you have kids, I believe that you will get better. Um, Aside of the the few that have some problems in their life, some standards that they try to meet. But with you learning my backstory and knowing me a little bit, I would like to dive into a little bit about what this whole podcast is about our passion, about doing what we love, and at the same time, fearing God and knowing that Jesus died for our sins, and one person at a time, making America better, as much as we can, at least. Um, so I have a few topics that I'd like to run into. Getting political right off the bat, because if you start off being a canceled man, you can't get canceled after that, I think. So that's what I'm trying to go for. But now this whole cancel thing is just if you speak your mind, you're canceled. So that's what I'm going to do. If that happens, so be it. But yeah, this is just some topics that I'd like to dive into. Um, First, saying that Jesus died for our sins, and we all have a feeling in our heart and mind that He did die for our sins, and there comes a point that we can't ignore that, and you have to do your best um, to walk in the path that He gave you. If you choose not to, that's your life. If you choose to, that's your life. But I can tell you one thing: if you choose to, your life will be better. Um, and straight off of knowing that Jesus died for our sins, I would like to dive into the topic, a political topic that's now sensitive. I would like to dive into abortion. Um, as you could probably tell already, I lean more to the right because, in my opinion, I think leaning more to the right is the type of people that want what's best for America. And wanting what's best for America, I feel, is not murdering babies, not killing kids. Whether you say it's a fetus, which in Latin means little human, it doesn't matter. It's murder in my eyes, and in a lot of people's eyes, and that should say something in itself. And even if you are for abortion, you know there's something deep down that it's not right, but I can't force you to feel a type of way. That's what this podcast is for me to speak my opinion. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. A lot of people on the left, they they look at abortion um, and they kind of double standard it because they're all for the left being for equality. Um, Everybody should be equal, but when it comes to a baby in a womb, that role switches. Um, I don't know how that works, but that's my perspective on it. I don't think it should switch. I think everybody should be equal, as well as babies, whether they are in the womb or outside the womb. Because let me say this might be a topic. What if Jesus was aborted? That's crazy, right? But if it was like how it was today when Mary was carrying Jesus, there could have been a way higher chance that that was an opportunity. And that's scary to even think of. With that being said, Jesus died for us, all of us, all human beings, not just people older or more developed. We are all equal in his eyes. That's that's to say a 4 week old. That's to say a 2 month old, a 30-year old. Um, Babies start at conception. When two DNAs meet and the conception is done, that is a human. That is a human. Um, Whether you want to admit it or not, facts don't care about your feelings. Shout out Charlie Kirk. Beautiful, beautiful guy to explain all of this. Um, but that's something I kind of wanted to dive into on the first episode because that's what I'm I really strive to just if I could just change one person's opinion on abortion, I would feel accomplished. Um, Let alone two, three, four, five, hundreds, thousands, millions, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to that one day. That would be awesome. But long story short, I want to change people's lives for the better. I think that us putting Jesus first and doing what we love, for me is cars. I just fixed my brakes. Shout out Luca. He'll be on this podcast one day soon, maybe next episode. For me, I like cars. All right. And I have most of these political, religious views and conversations with my friends in my cars. Um, I've I've had 14 cars. I started driving way later than a normal person, 20 years old, and in those 2 years, I'm 22 now. I've traded 14 cars. Um, and just this last year, I've stuck with one. So that was just the first year of driving. Um, I got my hands on a wheel, loved it, traded 14 cars. Del Sol to a 92 Camaro V8 to a 2011 Mustang, 2014 Mustang, sorry, to a Challenger, to a Lancer, to a Mustang GT, to an F-150, to a WRX, to another F-150, to another WRX, and sold it. Got an 2008 Mitsubishi Evolution, and I absolutely love it. But off of the topic of cars, back to how we can do what we love, um, and still, as long as we put Jesus first and America first, well, I guess you can't put both first, but Jesus first, America second. Well, if we're going to get real like that, Jesus first, our family second, but keeping America as one of our top priorities. Um, that's just leading to what this podcast is all about, being passionate about what you love, in my case, cars, and at the same time, keeping your priority of God on top of all and doing what is frowned upon, which is an open talk. It is important to talk about uh, big topics going on in America without worrying about whose feelings you're going to hurt. Um, and that's just another thing that I want to uh, incorporate in this podcast. Um, not caring about feelings, but at the same time not caring about feelings. We speak the fact, we speak the truth, and that's what I love about YouTube nowadays, letting people speak freely, because that wasn't a thing for a few years, and you know why. Uh, Even if you lean on that way, you know why. And I don't hate the leftists, and I don't love the rightist. I love all, but there comes a point where a certain amount of opinions, um, you can go this way. Another certain amount of opinions, you can go this way. But like I said, it comes to a point where you're fighting against facts. You're fighting against, is there two religions or is there more? The fact is there is two, so you go to the right. And then if you care about more about feelings and about scientific non truths that could maybe be true if you were in another universe, maybe, then you go to the left. But that's not where I lean, because I truly think that my fear of God, and my love for America growing up has pushed me into not only politically right, but to the truth, and to truly make America better, one person at a time. Um, another another shout out to Charlie Kirk. He is one of my biggest inspirations for doing what he does, going to these colleges, speaking freely, as in front of a bunch of people that like Trump and a bunch of people that dislike Trump. Like just what happened recently, leftists went in to the crowd and started beating people with a bike lock, because of their opinion. Wild, not cool. Wild. Another one where it was a leftist mob went into the um, campus and tore down the tent and tried to steal iPads and tried to fight people. Definition of sore loser. Definition of sore loser. Definition of sore loser. That is the left. When they keep getting more wrong and more wrong and more wrong and more wrong, what do you lead to? Violence and chaos. Definition of the left. I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm not saying all lefts are bad. There are some moral lefts, moral human beings that lean to the left that know the difference between right and wrong. And for that, I support them, and I not only support them, but hope that they continue to stay more morally obligated to put Jesus first, knowing that's more important than anything. But not only that, bringing their people that support them closer to Christ in some way. Um, for example, Bill Maher. He's in the left, but he knows the truth. There's only so far left you can go without denying facts. And I really think that's the truth, and those are my opinions. Um, so those were my takes on abortion, and more so on the left when it comes to feelings and facts. I just want to be a little person that's going out there in the world and on YouTube and just letting some people know how it really is, if they agree with me or disagree with me. And if someone does disagree with me, I would love to talk in the comments to them, because, like I said, the biggest thing in America these days is talking. Um, and if you can't talk, you can't solve. With conflict comes resolution, and talking needs to be done, whether what side you're on, whether you're an atheist or a Christian. That's how problems get solved, is talking. So for canceling people for talking is just a wild thing to me. Um, wild thing to me. But we all know this, and even the people canceling people, they know this. It's weird. Thank God that's going bye bye, because that's weird. Um, but I really do. I appreciate you clicking on this. And if you stayed this far, God bless you. And subscribe if you want to hear more about this, more topics like this. If you want to, like I said, what this whole podcast is about, if you want to do what you love and prosper in your greatest passions, and at the same time put God first and make America better one step at a time, one person at a time, then I suggest you should subscribe. Um, I, I don't know what else you could do better than because I'm going to try to do once a week. I want to do more. I just don't want to put that online, like, hey, here's what I'm gonna do, and then fall short of it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do once a week. I'm gonna try to do more. Um, I would love to do as much as possible. I would love to get as many guests as possible. Pastors, even atheists. I have somebody with a prosthetic leg that can come on here and tell his story. I have my pastor Nate, that he can come on here and spread more about Jesus more intelligently, and my Bible study group leader, to do so, as well as my friends from high school, from elementary school, middle school, just to get some laughs in. Speaking of that, I had a funny encounter today with this person, and I thought I'd share it because it's pretty fun. Um, they said, "Don't forget my glasses," because I'm supposed to meet them today. Um, they said, "Don't forget my glasses." And I said, "I'm just messing around. Where's your manners?" They say, "Now is not a good time. I'm in a bad mood." And I said, "Sorry. Please would have been nice though." Again, joking around. "You really love poking the bear, don't you?" she says. I say, Where, when struggling with a bad mood, read Psalms 34:18. Lord is closest to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. I don't know if that made her mad, but she hasn't replied. But hey, I'm spreading Jesus, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. I'm spreading Jesus. Thank you guys for joining this podcast. If you like, then like it. If you want to come back for more, if you are looking forward to hearing more of my topics, bringing more to the Lord, then subscribe and share with your friends if you want them to become closer to Jesus and learn more about the views of the political states that's going on in America today. I really appreciate you guys, and God bless. I don't know why I worry, just gotta put my hand in the sky. And if I fly, I'm worthy. God knows